Introduction. You've gotten through my thank you speech. We now have really one of the great speakers and a man who has really been a stalwart supporter of the monument and the museum for over 15 years, our great mayor, Antonio Villaraigosa.
Listening to the Shalhevet. Today we commemorate a museum, but we do more than that. We answer the question of why. Why do we continue to tell the story of the 6 million Jews that were killed during the Holocaust? Why do we continue to come together, Jew and Gentile, to remember? The answer is, we can never allow the darkest moment in human history to be forgotten behind closed doors. We, the survivors who are present, and I know that you have acknowledged the board of directors, but I'd like to ask all of the survivors to please stand, all of them, members of the board and those who are not members of the board. For 20 years, during Yom HaShoah, stood here just a few feet away to remember, to acknowledge. I've been coming for 15 of those years. I want to acknowledge Jonah Goldridge, a man who I count as a friend, has been a leader in this effort. Jonah Goldridge, please give him a big hand. Whether or not we are related to them by blood or religion, we are related as members of the human race. We stand with them, with their courage, with their persistence and determination to survive, to tell the story, to recount the atrocities, to speak out for a world that remembers so that we will never repeat those atrocities again. And yet we know that despite the fact that we have come here every year, there's still too many atrocities and examples of genocide in the world today. So the answer to the question of why is that we must remember so that we can ensure that we're doing everything possible to prevent those future atrocities, those future acts of inhumanity against man and woman. I'm honored to be here today because I believe that LA, from its very founding, has understood this notion of tolerance and understanding. And that is true even though here in LA there have been many, many examples in our history of hate by one against the other. From the very founding of our city, 44 Mexican settlers that 26 of them could trace their heritage to Africa. They were European, they were Indian, but they had a common dream. And with every new wave of Angelenos who come here, who sometimes find this incredible diversity to be maybe uncomfortable for them at first, they come to realize that here in this great city, here we embrace people who come from every continent. Here in this city where the world comes together, we acknowledge that our strength is our diversity. And so I am proud to be here. Proud that the city is a partner in that for 50 years we will pay $1 rent. I think that the city is getting a great deal. And we're getting a great deal because we're going to be able to tell a story behind these doors. The story of triumph, the story of people that would not perish, people who would go on to found a great nation, Israel. It stands for the proposition that there will be one place in the world that will always honor the fact that the people there are Jews. And so, on behalf of the city of Los Angeles, I want to say how proud we are to be here today, to partner here today, to tell the story to all of our children. The story of hate, but the story of love as well. Thank you so much, and shalom. Our council members who are present and our citywide elected officials, on behalf of really all of the elected officials, maybe all of us can stand here. On behalf of all of us, whether it's the city, the county, or the state, we come together on this great day to dedicate not just a museum, but the triumph of good over evil. On behalf of all of the descendants, the Holocaust victims, and the survivors, we applaud this great dedication.
Then give a couple reflections as well. I want to thank everybody who's been involved in this. Jay, Mark, Randy, Jonah. It's an incredible trio up here of folks that have seen the vision of this. While we celebrate the end of one mission, to build this space and this place, we celebrate the beginning of a new one, to fill it with people, with meaning, with lessons, and with progress. We move from the suffering to a place of understanding, and that is the greatest testament of all. And I also want to, just before I sit down, thank, I believe, one of our next speakers, our coming speakers, Tom LaBonge. This is in his district, and as you know, in City Council, people work very closely with their communities, and things don't happen if we can't get the involvement and the support of the council member for the area. Tom LaBonge had to balance a lot of different things, but stepped forward in the face of a lot of criticism to say this should be here, this can be here, and this must be here. We wouldn't be here today without you, Tom, so thank you all very much.